Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pocono Phoenix International Raceway here for the 6th round of the Bubbles Cup Championship, the Bashas Supermarkets 200. And here we are, beautiful venue tonight here at Phoenix. Always a great time being here. Here's how the points look heading into this weekend, with Karinga taking a commanding lead over Spring with his tremendous victory last week at Nashville. And with Lewis missing the previous race, Bubble has moved up into 3rd in the championship and looks to close the gap to the top 2, hoping to defend his championship and add to his trophy collection. As we've mentioned many times before, the winner of the Bubbles Cup Championship gets a real-life trophy sent to their house. So the stakes are high here in the Bubbles Cup Championship. And I'm your host, AGJF, joined today by a very special guest, IndyCar commentator over on C Sports, Marcus. How are you tonight, sir?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm so excited and so ready. As we know, the IndyCar series is tomorrow, actually. So very stoked for that. But I'm also stoked for today. I'm glad to be here, and I'm ready for a great race.
Absolutely. So speaking of the race, we filled you in. There was some tempers overflowing last race at Nashville. Do you think we're going to see some more of that here tonight with a bit more of a short track here, closer bumper-to-bumper action?
Well, with how this track is made, you're going to break. Of course, it's a braking track. It's a short oval. So I think we're going to maybe see a little bit more than what we saw back at Nashville for those two.
I think so as well. We heard from Bubble and Kimmy that they were not very happy with each other after Nashville. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on those two throughout this race. Speaking of those two, or one of them, Kimmy, he starts on pole for tonight. A big lead for him. He is just ahead of Ford. And then Bubble, who is now starting 3rd, as I mentioned, 3rd in the championship. Then it'll be Among Us, Spring, Nico. Then 24K now in the 24 car. Karinga in the 66. That's Blazer in the 18 and Prime in the 1 car. That is your lineup for tonight's race. And a quick overview on the strategy. We have a couple of main strategies here. I think your main one is going to be stopping every 40 laps. So stopping on lap 40, 80, 120, 160 for tonight's 200-lap race. But the drivers do have 6 sets of tires tonight. So I think you could go with a 5-stopper, use all 6, pit around lap 33, and you could make it up by driving really aggressive, not saving tires, and doing an extra pit stop. So we're going to have to see how that plays into tonight's race. And if the cautions fall right, we might see someone, they might run out of tire sets, which would be a first, as we have now introduced tire sets. So then, as we get ready to see pacing and the green flag, we are going to step away for just a moment for a word from our sponsor. We will be right back to take the green flag.
From every
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Phoenix International Raceway, as the drivers are leaving the pit lane and getting ready to come around for the green flag. It's going to be an outlap here, and we'll see green this time as they cross the line. They'll close up. We'll see them go double file off of turn 4. And we've got 200 laps ahead of us here at Phoenix. As I mentioned, round 6, we're getting into the middle part of this season, and really gonna have to start thinking about getting the most points, securing a championship potentially here. We've mentioned this before, but there is 5 bonus points for leading a lap, and then 5 more bonus points if you lead the most laps. So if you can have like a really dominant night, as we've seen recently from a few drivers, you could walk away with a big handful of points, and that could help your championship run tremendously. So I know we mentioned that Lewis missed the previous race. He is also not here tonight. So I do want to touch on the points one more time, because Kimi, with a perfect race tonight, he would be able to jump up and tie with Aiden, who is also not here tonight. If he has a perfect race tonight, he could tie with Aiden and be right on the heels of Lewis. And then he's looking at, I believe that's about 4th in the championship. And that would be big for Kimi after being so close in IROC and just being denied by Bubble at the ending. He could be fighting for a championship. But nonetheless, we're getting ready to take the green here in a moment.
Excited, Agent?
Oh yeah, this is super exciting. Always racing on the lights, it's great. Elijah, do you have any last-second picks for us for the race?
I'm gonna go. Let's go with Ford. I think Ford's an IndyCar driver. I think he got this today.
All right, I'm going with Kimi. They're going double file off of turn 4, and the green flag is out here at Phoenix for the Bashas Supermarkets 200. Here we go then, completing lap 1. It was a terrible start for Kimi. He got put 3 wide, and Ford capitalized and took the lead, and he's still getting shuffled out in the back. Kimi's dropping like a rock early in this race.
Nico spins, and he gets damage on the back. I think he's still okay to race, but very unfortunate from that chaos from lap 1 and 2.
Definitely not what you want to see happen. Blazer's way up the track there in the 18 car. He's gonna slide out the track and lose the spot to Nico. As you look further back, Kimi is down just ahead of Prime, right there at the back of the field. So he's struggling early. He's going to want to get in a rhythm. As up front, I think we might have just missed Bubble making a pass on Ford for the lead.
But Ford is not going out without a fight. He's trying to make it work on the outside lane. Could he maybe come into the front stretch again? But as Bubble stays, I think he not cleared him yet, but Bubble will stay in the lead.
Yeah, Ford had a good run off the corner. Sometimes you can roll the top side through 3 and 4, get a good exit. And Ford's going to try to do the same here in 1 and 2. It's hard to say if he has a run or not, but he's staying right there with Bubble. Now he's looking to the inside, going to the inside, side by side into turn 3.
As we see in the back, just want to point this out, Nico had a little bump between Springy, I think, bumped Nico into the wall. So that's unfortunate for them as we come back up to the lead, as we see Bubble getting passed, or Bubble got passed by Ford, and Ford led that lap.
And that fighting has brought Corey Wilson into the battle in that number 24 car. He took over for Vaughn, who we saw in the 24 earlier. Some drivers moving around in the seats mid-season, but Corey Wilson, he's given the bumper to the 48. That's his previous car. I don't know if there's any bad blood there or not, but a little bit of contact here earlier in this race.
Corey Wilson trying anything to maybe catch up to Bubble. As we see in the back, there's a battle between Springy, Among Us, and Nico. They're battling hard as they go 3 wide. And yeah, they're 3 wide. Holy!
Nico on the apron. Oh, they almost spun out. Spring is able to clear him, and Among Us is going to slot in behind, using the apron there in 3 and 4. Not a bad idea. But this is the kind of calamity that Kimi did not want to be a part of. As you see, he's right there in the thick of it with Nico.
And as your pole leader, you would have thought he would have stayed up front, but nope.
He's going to complete the pass on Nico and slide up there, so he gets that position back. Now he sets his sights on Among Us. He is in the thick of the battle, though, and the leader's going to be pulling away.
As talking about the leaders, Corey Wilson maybe going to try to make a move on Bubble coming into these next few laps. As we saw him back in turn 3, right on his bumper. Here he goes, sending it into the inside. Will he make it work? He's side by side with him now, coming into turn number 3.
Yep, they're still side by side. Bubble got a bit of a run off the corner. There was some door-to-door contact, but Bubble has to concede. The 24 car will take away second place, but the fighting is allowing Ford
And a
the
wreck in the
99.
back. Among Us spins into the grass.
Prime has damage. That's rear end damage on the 1 car.
Don't know what happened with Prime, but always, from what we know, is Among Us did spin on the back stretch. Caution out early.
Among Us, it must have been something with Nico. He's not showing his displeasure with the driver of the 26 car.
I mean, they were battling a lot with Springy or those two battling with Springy, so not surprised something was gonna happen there, one way or another. But,
I think really this caution has benefited Kimi. He's gonna close back up to the leaders because he'd already lost a ton of time to the cars in front.
definitely.
So I think normally we would have seen just about everybody come into the pits here. Pits were not open that lap. They should be open this lap. But now with the introduction of tire sets, these drivers only have 6 sets of tires to make it the entire race. They're probably not going to want to pit super off sequence. What's your view of this, Marcus?
If I were them, I would not pit. It's lap 10. You're barely getting everything started. I'm not gonna say there's gonna be a caution later in the race. I mean, of course there might be, but this early, I think you should just stay out. Track position is everything.
We're certainly going to see here in a moment as Ford's going to be the leader here on lap 10. Pits, we do get the signal that pits are open. The pit entry is right here off of turn 4. It's a tough pit entry to make under green flag. And it looks like a lot of the field's coming in. Pretty split.
50-50.
4 cars
Nope.
stay out and about 6 cars come into the pits. Spring is in his stop clean. Nico rolls into his stop. Now Ford with a clean stop. It's going to be a tight race off pit road.
As we see Karinga have a little bit of mess ups coming into pit road. That's not going to help him getting out. As we wait and see.
Spring is clean off his pit box. We're going to wait and see when Ford goes. Ford is going and Bubble is out behind him. So I think it's going to be as you were for most of the drivers here. And Nico just ahead of Karinga back there. So Ford will leave them off the pits. He will restart 5th as the list of drivers who stayed out is Corey Wilson, Kimi, Blazer, and Among Us.
Oh. In my personal opinion, I think I would have been a part of the group who stayed out. But let's see what strategy these people who now have 5 sets of tires are. What is that going to do for them?
Yeah, we're going to have to see because those drivers that just pit for sure have to make 4 more pit stops. So for sure having to make 4 more pit stops means using all the rest of their sets of tires. If we come down to a late race restart, they will be out of tires, and these top 4 will have a chance to put on fresh tires and make a charge through the field.
With how we've seen today, we might not see a lot. The restarts are going to be really chaotic, as we saw on the start of the race. We saw 4 3 wide. And also, let's talk about this. I wanted to talk about this before, but Corey Wilson, his huge run on turn number 2 for the first lap. Did you catch that?
I didn't see it out of 2, but I saw the move into 3 as he sent it up the inside of Kimi, and that kind of started Kimi's woes on lap number 1, but it gave Corey Wilson 3rd place and gave him a chance with the leaders.
And also, as you mentioned, Kimi fell back on lap 2 and is now back up to 2nd after not pitting.
I think that was a no-brainer move for Kimi. gain some of that track position back. I still think he's gone a good strategy, but we're about to see a restart here.
Green is Bubble goes on the outside and makes a move on Among Us, or is going to try to.
They're going to go
three wide already.
Bubble squeezing them down. He's going to get the spot over both of them. A huge move for Bubble as he gets past Ford and Among Us. Oh, and Ford gets put in the wall further back.
They were 4 wide for a second as Ford got the worst of it. But as we see Corey Wilson starting to pull away from Kimmy.
With that move from Bubble, he's now the furthest driver up on fresh tires. We're going to be keeping an eye on him and how quickly he can move through the field. Down to the inside of Blazer.
Contact between both of them. Blazer, can he keep it off the wall? He will. Oh.
Contact there. He hits the wall.
Contact.
Spring had a huge run, but nowhere to go, and Bubble gets the spot. He is going to be up into 3rd place, I believe.
Nico into the wall, slowing down in the back, and I believe maybe pitting for it might have been a good idea, but Corey Wilson and Kimmy have not pitted yet, and they're starting to pull away, or they've been pulling away.
Mistake from Bubble. He hit the wall there off of 2, and now Spring is in the back of him, and Spring and Bubble are fighting for who's in the lead position on the alternate strategy, pitting early. Throw Ford into the mix. They're going to go 3 wide off of turn 4. A little bit of door slamming between Bubble and Spring. Ford's on the bottom, Karinga behind, looking for somewhere to go.
On turn number 2 now, they double file it out now. Ford gets a run. Ford's going to maybe make a pass on Bubble. Ford, little bit slow there. Entering turn 3 now. Ford lunges it in.
Bubble's keeping him tight on the outside. There's contact in the middle of the corner. Bubbles up the track. He's going to hit the wall, and that loses a ton of momentum. And Ford lifts, so that's going to give Karinga the spot. Karinga is now the first driver on that other strategy.
As we see Springy now battling for Ford, or back to battling for Ford. Sorry about that. With Ford, and he made the pass.
All good there. Battling with Ford for 4th. That's a tough one.
It is.
As They're gonna actually be a switchback there. Ford is not giving up that spot easily. Now he lifts into 1. Spring takes the spot away. And, Spring struggled a couple of the races early, but he is showing some big pace here. That is your Bristol winner. Snatched it away from Ford, who looked like he was going to win. Spring came away with a win that day, and now he's looking to extend that and take back the championship lead over Karinga.
I mean, this is a short track, so you would think he would be really decent, and as of right now, he's showing he is.
Definitely. It is a short track like Bristol, but man, do they drive different. Bristol's got the high bankings, high speed, and Phoenix, you've got 2 very different ends of the racetrack, and it's pretty flat. So keeping your momentum is so important here, and staying on the racing line. If you fight, it's kind of like what we saw at Nashville. If you're side by side, you lose so much time.
As we saw it with a bunch of these drivers who were going 3 and 4 wide. But just how this race is, and Spring into the wall a little bit, that's going to give Ford a big run.
Yeah, but he's going to pass
the
him.
outside.
He's going to pass him and clear him, and up ahead, Karinga hit the wall as well. So now Ford is gaining on Karinga on that alternate strategy. Bubble and Spring are right there with Ford, but a lot of mistakes and a lot of fighting from the drivers who just pit. That's really helping the strategy for both Corey Wilson and for Kimmy.
As Spring and Bubble go double file side by side coming into turn number 3. Bubble gonna make the pass and will clear him, but here comes Spring, and he maybe make something work, get a bit of a run. He will, and he's gonna stay on the bump.
Up ahead, there goes Ford. He's going to the inside of Karinga. Karinga leaves the bottom open. A lot of give and take early in this race. They know they're on a different strategy. They need to work together to catch the top 2. So Karinga gives it up to Ford, and they're going to try to push and work together in order to catch up to the leaders.
And adding on to that, as with the pushing and helping, there is bump draft, so it will help on the straightaways. It's not going to help enough, honestly, but They got to do what they got to do.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. It's a really tough balance for these drivers, pushing them on the straightaways, but not pushing them into the corner and causing them to go wide and just completely negating all the help you gave them on the straightaways.
And in the back, we got Nico and Among Us battling for.
Oh, Ford hits the wall. Bubble does too. Karinga's gonna take the spot.
Oof. As Ford almost loses the spot to Bubble.
Bubble setting him
maybe
up on
gonna
the
lose
exit.
it here.
He's setting him up on the exit. A very nice crossover from Bubble in the 48 car. He takes that position over Ford.
Wow. You see, that was from one mess up too.
Absolutely. I mean, it just takes one loss of momentum off of turn 4, and he was out of position all the way until he got back to turn 3 and 4 again. As Bubble, late move up the inside of Karinga. They're going to be tight on the exit. Bubble, he leaves him the space, and Karinga's got the momentum still side by side through the dog leg.
But here comes Ford. Can he maybe make something happen? Be dumb too, but he's going to stay behind as Karinga and Bubble still side by side fighting.
Ford with a run. Here comes Ford. Who does he push? He pushes Karinga on the outside. Oh, contact with Bubble. It's a Toyota, a Ford, and a Chevy here, so no manufacturer alliances. As Bubble flaws Ford, and he lifts because he knows that was his mistake.
And as he should, rightfully so. Here comes Spring, though.
Spring wants to capitalize off of that mistake from Bubble. But he doesn't get the momentum off the corner, and he's going to fall back in line. That's going to give Karinga a big gap out in front. A lot of space to just kind of settle in with this car, settle in with the fresher tires. He's got about 3.5 seconds towards the leader, and I want to say it's about 2.3 up to Kimi up in second.
We saw Spring pass Ford on turn number 3, and Ford gonna kind of send him in a little bit. It does not work.
I'll tell you what, these drivers got to stay patient. It's really tough to keep your mental focus for 200 laps when you're fighting with the drivers around you and just trying to go as fast as possible. You gotta be really patient on a night like tonight to maximize points and give yourself a chance. Just be there at the end of the race.
As you see, there's a bunch of these drivers are patient. Hopefully, let's hope
Spring.
no. Oh, Spring into the wall a little bit. It's made him lose a position. Ford passes him now. As we see a battle in the back with Blazer and Nico. Nico has caught up to Blazer.
I would like to highlight the driver of the 18 car. This is his first start in Bubbles Cup. And, wow, what a track to start on. But he's showing out pretty good, fighting with Nico, who's a series regular. So he's not doing too bad here for his first night out in Bubbles Cup.
Let's hope we can see him up front tonight as we see Nico pass it.
Blazer setting him up on the exit, though. Did Nico go a little bit too deep? They're going to go side by side down into turn 1.
Sends it.
Nico ripping the top, but Blazer's got the spot. Yeah, they're putting on a good show back here. This is for 7th place, by the way. So not too far down the order. Still kind of around the 7th place mark. Still good points.
As we go back. Oops.
I thought we were going to see a replica there with Nico and Blazer, but Nico stays ahead this time.
And up front, up in the 5th position, we have Ford and Spring now going to have a battle.
Spring has shown really good pace, and Ford has been. I don't know if this has not been his favorite track or what, but he's been really strong previously, and he's not really shown that same pace here tonight, that same dominant pace we've seen from him before. As someone hit the wall up front, I think that was Bubble. It was Bubble. He's slow, so he's going to lose a lot of ground. He had caught up to Karinga, who has been catching Kimi very slowly, but Bubble's going to have to just reset and get back in his rhythm.
And I want to mention the lead real quick. Corey, man, what a lead he has on Kimmy. That is 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Almost 4.
Very big lead for Corey Wilson. As we look back, we can't even see Kimmy in the corners. You have to get on the straightaway to just see that car come out of the corner. And right behind him, it's not that much further back to Karinga, who has closed the gap. It's now just 0.6 of a second separating second and third. As just behind them, the gap is closed between Bubble and Ford, and they're fighting.
Ooh, we got battles everywhere.
There we go, Karinga closing up. I think Kimmy's starting to struggle on the tires. Remember, Karinga is the first car on that group of cars that pit. Karinga pushing Kimmy there down the back straightaway, but it's really closed up now, and we think a tire stint's about 40 laps. I expect to see the top 2 pitting here soon.
As Karinga goes into the inside, gonna make the move on. Oh, Bubble hit the wall in the back. Coming back up here, Karinga makes the pass for second.
Yeah, good clean pass there from Karinga. That's what you like to see, as Kimmy's he's gonna try to stay with him as long as possible, use the draft to his advantage, maybe follow Karinga's lines a little bit, but he's not. I don't think he'll be able to make up the tire offset with Karinga having such fresher tires. I expect it to be about 25%. So Karinga will pull away, and I imagine Kimmy will start to fight for his life with Bubble and Ford close behind.
Just going up here, up to Corey, we might see some lap traffic hit very soon as Blazer pits as right now.
Blazer on the 18 car, he is in the pits. As we see the rest of the field going by, he will go a lap down to the entire field here. As we actually get a great view there of Kimmy, who is now under fire from Bubble. He sends it up the inside into turn 1.
And with those fresher tires, it's going to definitely help him and Ford. On the back straightaway, here comes Ford. And Kimmy is basically now passed.
And you hear how early Kimmy has to lift off the throttle. Those 2 other cars on fresher tires just blow by, and Kimmy's coming to the pits. He's coming into the pits.
That means we probably are going to see Corey come into pit soon.
Probably so. I'm honestly surprised he hasn't pit yet. Corey's able to extend 1 lap longer than Kimmy. It's going to get pretty close on his tires. He's going through turn 3 and 4 now. I expect him to pit this time. And he will not. He goes by. He's staying out there. He trusts his tires. So Corey Wilson, maybe he's figured something out with the tires, or he's taking a big risk. Because as you wear down that tire, the chance that it blows out and you're in the wall increases.
As I want to mention this, Blazer is now ahead of Karinga. So he might have messed up. Karinga hit the wall a few laps earlier, so he might have messed up him a little bit, but who knows?
Maybe so. Now Blazer is, I believe, 2 laps down now, and he will be on fresh tires as he just pit. But again, Corey Wilson did not hit that lap either. I saw someone else go into the pits. Oh, Bubble and Karinga get together.
Oof.
I can't quite tell who that is in the pits further back. It was Among Us. Among Us has hit the pit lane, and he's now exiting his stall. I presume it was a clean stop for him. As Corey Wilson goes by, still not pitting, and we're going to be looking back. There is Blazer. So a fight between Among Us and Blazer, as Among Us is going to keep the spot. Blazer up the inside. This is 4 position. 4 position with Blazer and Among Us side by side off the pit exit battle. Corey Wilson stays out again. How many laps can he go? As further back.
A lot.
This is crazy from Corey Wilson. I've never seen someone extend as much as this. So we saw there with Blazer, he was a good ways behind Among Us, but the undercut is tremendous. So Among Us under threat from Blazer, but he does not fall into the hands of the 18 car as Corey Wilson stays out again.
It's 45 laps. Man, he's stretching it.
I know. I mean, we figured the strategy would be about 40 laps, and we're on 45 here. Corey Wilson has yet to pit at all this race, and now he's coming in. He slows in front of Among Us. Among Us hits him, but they're gonna be okay. They're both okay. Corey Wilson is into the pits. We're gonna watch this stop closely. Where is he gonna come out relative to Kimi, who pit a few laps earlier? Kimi did just go by, but that was just getting a lap back. That was not for position, so we're going to wait to see if Kimi can come around again. We're looking for the 21 car as he is going into turn 3 now. Corey Wilson is out of his pit box, but he's got a long pit lane. It's a very long pit stop here at Phoenix.
Kimi's on turn 4. Straight away.
Oh, Kimi's flying down the front straightaway. Corey Wilson about to hit the pit exit limiter. Here comes Kimi.
It's a slow exit though.
Oh, Kimi hits the wall. That's going to kill him. That was going to kill him. He's so close. He can see 24K right there, but it's not going to happen after he hit the wall. And now Corey Wilson.
Yeah, he definitely would have made it.
Now Corey Wilson's up to speed, but that cost Kimi hitting the wall there and the pit stop sequence a vital part of this race. You cannot make a mistake like that if you want to win the race.
Definitely. As we see Prime go into pits now.
We've got a very split strategy here. This is really what you like to see in one of these races. It's very exciting as all the pit stops has now put Bubble in the lead. Ford is in second. He's close behind him, so that'll be a battle for the lead for the strategy of the cars that pit earlier. We expect them to go about 10 more laps than the cars who stayed out.
Yes. Although, with what Corey just did, he stayed out 5 laps extra than expected. I think we're going to see a bunch of these drivers try that strategy.
We're going to see for sure, because Kimi pit 10 laps ago. If we're looking at right now, is Karinga spinning. Caution is out, and that's gonna save the cars that have stayed out.
Oh, that definitely helped them, and that ruined everyone who pit. So
yeah, I think everyone will pit. I think the cars that did just pit will get the wave around and get their lap back. However, that was essentially a free stop now for the drivers who pit early in this race.
What even happened to Karinga?
I'm not sure. He might have gotten loose on this big curve. Something we haven't talked about yet tonight, but that curb on the inside of the dogleg is a big one, and drivers will use it, cut the track a little bit, minimize the track distance, and gain some time. But you can be too aggressive over it, and you can get loose over it, hit the wall. I think that's what might have happened with Karinga there, and then it sent him into a spin.
And again, that ruined a lot of these drivers. So.
So I will put Bubble in the lead. As you see the order going across the top of your screen there, Prime was the only one that ended up trapped 2 laps down. But we'll have to see what race control does here. They might allow everyone to get back on the lead lap here.
Just gotta wait and see.
it's something we've seen them do before, especially on the IndyCar side of things, as we do see that pits will be open this time. And I expect to see everyone except for probably Prime, Corey Wilson, Kimi into the pits, and Among Us, who also had already pit during that cycle.
Oh, they're gonna... What?
Prime and Among Us are pitting again, and surely they're going to be on like the third set of tires now, right?
I think most of them are on their thirds, or mostly. I don't know.
Corey Wilson and Kimi stay out, and that's a no-brainer. They had just pit, but craziness here, as it was a clean entry for everybody. Ford is out of his pit box. Bubble's still in his. We're gonna see the race off pit road here. Here comes Ford down the pit lane. It's close with Bubble, but Bubble barely gets it. Bubble's barely gonna get the spot.
It's very tight coming out of it.
Oh, and I think Ford got pushed off of the track into the grass. He's not very happy with Spring with that, but I think they'll sort that one out. That's not a big deal.
I think that was Bubble. That wasn't Spring.
Oh.
Or at least I don't think so. I could be wrong, but problems on the exit of pit road. Oh.
So I believe with the Bubbles Cup lap down rules, they did get their laps back before the pit stops, and so that will mean Corey Wilson and Kimi might be first and second here.
You can see they are. Nope. Maybe. Laps are a little. We'll wait and be patient. That's what we need to be. We need.
Yeah,
to
we're just gonna have to wait and see what they do with the laps here, as the rest of the field is now one lap down. So we're just gonna have to see what race control does to fix the lap counter here. As Among Us is a little bit off the pack back there, he's catching up now, and there it is, green this time, and I assume race control is working on that fix with the lap counter and the ticker. But it is going to be lap 55. We're over a quarter of the way through this race. And the strategy is wild, as it always is here on Bubbles Cup.
Looks like everyone is getting their lap back. What it looks like. Yeah.
So there you have it. Everybody on the lead lap. We're about to see a restart here. And green flag is out. A rough start for Kimi as Bubble might have jumped it there. He's going to the outside 3 wide. Kimi's to the inside of Corey. Into turn 1. Kimi's on the inside. He's got the preferred line, but Corey with the momentum on the top as Bubble has to file back in. And there's a huge run coming from behind.
And they're 3 wide still for second as Spring has a huge run passing Kimi. Gonna maybe make a send here into Corey Wilson. They're 3 wide again. Onto the straightaway.
Spring just pit. He's got fresher tires than Corey Wilson. Not by much, but it is fresher. As Kimi and Bubble force Kimi down, and they go 3 wide as Corey Wilson misses the corner. Bubble forcing Kimi down on the apron. We saw tempers overflow at Nashville, and they are not racing nice with each other right now.
Here comes Ford. Ford's going to maybe make a move here. 3 wide now. As Koringa and Nico are starting to be in the battle. Kimi just flooding back to the end of the field.
It's like what we saw in the start of the race. Kimi's just getting no slack here from any of the drivers. Blazer's going to go up his inside as well. Kimi is not going to be very happy as up front. Oh, Bubble's going to be put in the wall. Oh. Ford and Corey Wilson both put Bubble in the wall.
And that has completely screwed up the 200 cars as Ford leads now.
And Spring is up in the second. The 2 cars that were fighting for the win for Bristol, as actually Spring had a rough exit. Oh! Corey Wilson comes up, he gets front end damage. Cautions, this has to be out. That's going to count as a reset. I don't know what happened there.
Spring
gets rear end damage too. I don't know what happened. Corey Wilson looked like he just turned right going into the corner. I can't tell though. It was such a quick sequence of events. But either way, it'll count as a reset for the driver of the number 24 car.
It's very weird, but this is 37 Spring. but huh?
I have no idea what happened there and what might have caused it. It looked like it was between Bubble and Kimmy that things were getting heated, and Corey Wilson and Bubble. But now it's Corey Wilson and Spring who come together and bring out our third caution of the night.
Well, I might have been wrong about like the probably no cautions because we've seen 3 already in the last 60 laps. So we might be able to see more.
We're gonna see as Corey Wilson uses his 1 reset, and Spring gets a free reset. He only had rear end damage. That will not count against him. But Corey Wilson is on his last car now. If he gets front end damage again, he will be scored as a DNF.
Ooh. You definitely don't want that.
As we do get word now, pits are open this time. We're gonna have to see if anybody decides to come in. People are thinking about it. Corey Wilson. So now we have another split in the strategy as Kimmy stays out. Corey goes in, and we have really 3 strategies happening right now.
Buttload of them. Holy.
So Kimmy pit on lap 40. He's only made 1 pit stop. He's on a 2nd set of tires. These other drivers around him pit around lap 10 and then around lap 50. They are on their 3rd set of tires. Corey Wilson pit around lap 45. And now he just pit again on lap 60. He is on his 3rd set of tires. Now remember, those drivers can go back to that older set of tires. Remember, the drivers up front, they just 10 laps. Those are probably on about 70-75% wear. They can go back to that if they decide to for a later stint. Put on some scuffed tires, maybe if there's a small restart at the end or something. But either way, we're about to see a green flag here as Ford is going and Bubble with another huge jump. But Blazer, he's going to the inside. They're going to be 3 wide for 3rd.
Blazer finally show what he's made of.
Ford's in the wall. He gets damage. Nico takes the lead. Ford's going to get split by Karinga and Blazer, who lifts. Oh, they're all coming together. Ford and another one. Huge hit. It's the big one at Phoenix.
Oh my God. 4 cars, Spring, Ford, Among Us, and Blazer all involved.
And Ford is going to get the reset count against him. A huge hit for Ford after getting put into the wall by, I think it was Nico.
I think, from what I know, from what I remember, yeah, Ford and Nico were battling as Ford hit the wall. That shoved down Ford and put him, got him to slow down as Blazer checked up into Among Us, and that just caused the chain reaction and cars hitting each other. So only a few got affected by it as Blazer and Among Us, as Blazer showing his displeasure from to Among Us. So
yeah, I don't really know what Among Us could have done there, because I think Blazer started getting loose just from lifting on the curb. So it was really just doomed to start with. If there was anyone to put the blame on, it would probably be Nico with walling Ford right at the start there.
I mean, you can't really blame Among Us for the Blazer either. It was just, you never know when to check up. Things happen, so it's very, very strange.
Among Us has decided to go to the back. I'm not sure if that was a call from race control or not, but if it is a call from race control, I'm not sure I really agree with that one, but nonetheless, Among Us is going to start at the rear for this restart. And we have seen before, yep, there it is. a caution immediately after a previous caution. The pits will not be open. We will see green this time.
Oof. Let's hope we don't have that chaos again. As the restarts were, though, we probably will.
And you know, that really helped Corey Wilson. We didn't really see it, but he managed to sneak his way through that wreck. He's up into third. After being in last, the cause of the last caution, and pitting for fresh tires, he's now up into third with the freshest tires.
Ooh. He's definitely going to be able to do something here as we go to the restart.
Oh, a terrible start for Corey Wilson. He's basically stopped back there. I don't know what happened. He's going now, but he's well off the pace.
Very unfortunate for Corey Wilson as we see Karinga now in Nico into the wall as Corey or Karinga.
And they're going 3 wide again. It looks
first.
just like the last restart, but this time they're clean. Kimmy up the inside, Bubble on the outside. And they make a beautiful move on Nico, but Karinga is scampering away out front.
Remember, these two are the people with the rivalries. Kimmy and Bubble I'm talking about.
Oh, the contact!
Oh,
Bubble's
Nico
off the track!
him.
Oh, Bubble's gonna get damage on the rear. Can he save it? No, he gets front end damage. That's gonna be a reset.
He should have just put it into the wall. It would have been better.
He tried to keep it out of the wall.
Oh, wreck in the back. No damage, but Corey among us in prime. What? Caution after caution after caution. Holy.
And this race has come to a screeching halt with these restarts. It has been craziness.
Nico caused both of these cautions. I want to point out. Huh. Oh. What do you have to say about this, Agent?
I mean, just it's quickly becoming a battle of attrition. Who's going to have a car at the end of the race? Yeah, we talked so much about the strategy and the tire sets.
Oh, yeah, look.
But now we're looking at who's got an extra car left.
Bubble very unsatisfied with Nico's decision to send. I don't know what he was thinking. But unfortunate. As we're only on lap 66 of 200.
Yeah, just at the 1/3 mark of the race. So over half the race to go, and it is craziness right now.
I believe Karinga has been the only one to not be in any problems. The only car.
Yeah, I think so. I think Kimmy's done a pretty good job avoiding stuff as well, but yeah, just craziness. And as you mentioned, Karinga, I do want to bring up the points one more time. Karinga, your championship leader, he's got a 32-point gap over Spring, and this is the kind of night that really sets the tone for the championship, right? If Karinga can stay clean, come away with good points, this is really what defines a championship run, is how can you run when everything goes wild, everything goes crazy? Can you keep your car clean and still come away with a good finish?
As next race, we will be going to Texas. That should be a exciting race, so you gotta at least get some points up here.
Absolutely, bro. Texas is going to be a big one for sure.
Also, not to mention, after Texas, you got to be careful because after that, we go to Talladega. So, just wanted to point that out. This is going to be more chaotic than this. So,
it's gonna be wild for sure. We saw pits open there. No one came into the pits, so we will get green this time. It will be Karinga leading us around to the restart here on lap 68 out of 200. go then. It's going to be a Toyota up front. And then he's got a Ford behind him. And Nico, who's had a rough couple of restarts here, but we're getting ready. Green flag is out. A late call here, but they are clean and away as Spring looks to the inside on Kimmy. He gets back in line, much calmer up front this time.
And clean is an understatement from what the back just had, as Blazer did not get it going. And Among Us into the wall. What is going on with him? Weird.
No caution is out. They're going to keep it going. He didn't get any extra damage as up front. I think it's getting exciting between Karinga and Nico. Yes, they're very close.
As Nico gonna try to make a move here. As we see in the back battle between Corey, Ford, and Bubble. As Corey and Ford are side by side. Prime wrecking off the curb as you were talking about.
Oh, and he gets front end damage
Now
and cautions out.
Another one.
We can't really seem to get it back going here again. As another caution on lap 70. We run so many caution laps. I mean, we're really going to be helping the tire life here.
Definitely.
But Prime, another car that's going to have front end damage. So maybe we can quickly go through all the cars that have had front end damage. We know Bubble has, Corey Wilson has.
Ford has.
Ford has had front end damage.
Prime. I don't know if you said Prime.
Prime.
Let's say Nico. Nico has kept the same car the whole race. I mean, a bunch of people have, but
yeah,
Nico hasn't reset from that back damage.
Yeah, some of the cars that have kept the same one the whole time. Kimmy, Among Us, Nico, Karinga, and I can't remember if Blazer has had front end damage.
Blazer has, or not? Not front. Jeez.
Okay, so Blazer is good, and then Spring. So really, we've got 4 cars that are kind of in a be a really conservative position, because if they get front end damage again, they will be scored as DNF.
They don't want that, especially Blazer, because this is his first start.
So pits are open this time by Karinga. The number 66 machine will lead them around turn 4. We'll see. I wonder what we're going to see with the pit stops here. Like I said before, we've got really 3 strategies going on here. And we're getting close to the window for what would normally be a second stop. But a lot of these drivers have made some early pit stops, off-schedule pit stops. I think Kimmy's really the only one that's kind of on that standard pit cycle.
As we see both nope.
They both fake it. Among Us is in and Prime is in. Oh, Among Us is stopped short of a box. I wonder if there's a problem with that car. We'll get back to you on Among Us as that story develops, but Prime clean in his box. He's for sure gonna beat Among Us out of the pits, so he will gain 1 spot through this pit sequence under yellow. As Blazer and Ford both just reset their cars just to get some, just to knock off that rear end damage they had. They will still be on Blazer with both cars, Ford with just 1 car. As Prime comes back around, he is lined back up at the tail end of the field, and Among Us has gotten moving here. He is going down pit lane. If he can catch up to the pack, I expect to see green this time. We'll see the green flag on lap 75. That should put us about 37.5% of this race distance complete. So we got the color from race control. It will be green this time. Karinga has been racking up the laps led through the pit stops. That's going to be important to keep in mind as he's going to try and capitalize on points from this race. But right behind him, again, it's Nico. It's been a wild couple of restarts with Nico. We're going to see if we can keep it clean this time and get back into a rhythm as off of turn 4. All the cars still in single file. Green flag is out, and it's not a great start for Karinga as Bubbles making a huge move up the inside further back. Out for third. Oh, side by side with Corey Wilson and Kimmy. Now Bubble tried to go up the inside, and he has to back out. Ford was looking to go through the middle, and he had to back out. That allows Spring to get to the inside as they're 2x2 further back right behind Corey Wilson. That's a battle for 4th. And Blazer's looking to get involved as well, but the big story, Bubble and Kimmy side by side once more. Is there any space given on the exit? No, Bubble takes it away. Oh, and Bubbles sends it up the inside of Corey Wilson. He gets in front of damage. Corey Wilson's going to be out of the race. And Bubble gets in front of damage, and he's out. Oh, my goodness. What has happened? Bubble and Corey Wilson are both going to be out of the race with that. We're watching how the 24 car reacts. He's just pulling it off to the side. He knows he's done. Bubbles pulling it in with him, so they are both out of the race. And sheesh, craziness. 2 very strong contenders for the win for tonight. They're both going to be out, and Bubble, who is 3rd in the championship, he will be out. And man, the calamity of Phoenix tonight has bit the drivers hard as we see 2 DNFs at once with a crazy crash here. I believe I saw, it might have been Spring who also got front end damage there. He will be on his last car. So Spring is on his last car, Prime is as well, and so is Ford. I was wondering, as we get closer to lap 80, now do we see some drivers pit, especially Kimmy, who's closer to that number he wants to see. Pit should be open this time. We're going to be right back after another word from our sponsor. Welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway, ladies and gentlemen. A crazy turn of events as Bubble in the 48 car and Corey Wilson in the number 24 car have both crashed out of this race. A big crash and just absolute calamity there for a while. I think we've actually got Bubble here, who has just been released from the Infield Care Center. Bubble, what was your view of what happened to that wreck as caused you to be out of the race?
He threw the most miserable block I've ever seen in my entire life on the restart. Locked me up, put me back like 3 or 4 positions, and I'm not gonna take that. So I sent it, and I sent it in 3 and 4 on purpose, and I wrecked him on purpose. So I'm probably gonna get suspended, but I had to let him know I wasn't gonna take that.
Well, we certainly see your side of things there. And how do you think this will approach your a chance for a championship here, defending your trophy? You entered this race 3rd in points. You'll get a DNF here. What's your view on things with the championship moving forward after this incident?
Well, I'm just gonna have to regroup and get cool. I think next week we go to back to a mile and a half, go back to Texas. So, and then the week after that should be much better for me. We go to Talladega. It'll be the tandem package. So I'm gonna be looking for a partner. And I think the next 3 or 4 weeks, we've got Richmond, Darlington. I mean, there's a lot of good tracks for me there. So I think I can at least get 1 or 2 wins there.
One last question for you. You've had quite a few run-ins with other drivers, especially Kimmy and now Corey Wilson. Is that going to maybe hurt your reputation, for example, at Talladega when you're looking for a drafting partner?
No, me and Kimmy cleared it up. We're good. In fact, I'm actually probably going to partner with Kimmy that entire race.
Alrighty, well, good to know. Update things with you and Kimmy are good. Now a bit of an incident with you and Corey Wilson. Glad to hear you're okay, and best of luck next week at Texas. Now that was driver of the number 48 car. We should see green pretty soon here. But we are also going to talk to the driver of the number 24 car, Corey Wilson. Bubble says you threw a nasty block. He wasn't going to take that. What's your side of the story here that has caused you to be out of the race?
First race from recording. Doesn't seem to be going too well. I'm really upset right now. And the only reason I really threw that block, I actually was kind of hesitating on it because I knew he was going way faster than me. But the only reason I didn't throw that block, or I threw it, is because the boy jumped 3 positions on the restart and he passed 3 people for the line. So in my defense, I'm not going to take somebody jumping the restart and taking all those positions when he knew he was in the fault, and even said that I don't care about the delay, so I'm just going to jump.
Well, there you go. Word from Corey Wilson, what he thought about things. You came back into the race. You were pretty far back in the points, but hoping to come back. Do you plan to do more races in the future to try to move up the championship after being wrecked out here tonight?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I didn't come into this race to go chase down the championship. I came into this race to just have fun. I know I'm out of the championship, but my whole goal the rest of the season is just to have fun and race around with these guys. And so far, I was having fun, but I mean, the DNF really doesn't hurt me that much.
Alrighty. Well, glad to hear you're okay, and best of luck next week at Texas. Thank you very much. Driver the number 24 car, Corey Wilson. Just craziness there with that caution, as we did see green flag. Finally a clean restart this time, as it's Karinga out in front, but Nico is staying close, keeping him honest here on lap 84.
Well, clean is a little bit. I mean, we did see some people going to the wall, as we saw Among Us and Blazer have a little bit of problems, but for the most part, you're right. It was clean. We didn't have as many 3 wides, 2 wides, and wrecks.
Yeah, that's the big one. The wrecks, just calamity for probably the last 20 or 30 laps. And ran the first 60 relatively clean, but after that, it's gone to craziness. So it's now starting to single out, get a little bit calmer. Karinga still leads. I think he's definitely going to be a candidate for most laps led. As you look further back, it is still a little bit crazy back there I think that was Spring and Among Us who gets turned into the wall by Prime. There's no damage there. They're going to keep going. But that's the kind of incident that can cause some of the calamity. We've seen his Prime go straight into the wall. Not sure what happened there. But he's able to recover and keep going with no damage.
There is still a wide window open for Rex. So, Rex and cautions. As we see Ford, who was back there with Blazer all the way up to third. To second, he's gonna maybe try and make a pass on Nico. Coming to the backstretch.
Oh, he hits the wall.
As he hits the wall.
A big wall hit there for Ford. It's gonna drop him a lot of positions or a lot of space on the track. But he's gonna try to lock in, recover here, get going again, build up his momentum. As speaking of momentum, Nico with a good run there. He's really staying here with Karinga, who's been a dominant force at some of the previous races. Nico not so much, but here it's those two fighting up front for the win.
You see 3 different packs in this race. Front pack with Nico and Ford, second pack with Blazer and Kimmy, and that third pack back there with Spring and Among Us.
Ford really rolling the top here in 1 and 2. He hits the wall again. I think he's really got to focus on getting that car rotated into the bottom of the track. I think he's struggling with that, and it's hurting his chances to fight with the top 3 here. But as you said, the next pack behind, that is Kimmy and Blazer. Problems in the back. Spring is stopped in 3 and 4.
Spring is completely stopped. Something mechanical problems, I believe. What in the jeez?
Prime saves it, gets going again. Now Spring is going again, so there's not going to be a caution. But yeah, just more wild stuff. It's been a crazy night at Phoenix, and we're not even halfway yet.
About to be in 10 laps as back up front, Ford and Nico have fallen back behind Karinga. So Karinga now has a 1 second lead, or a 1.5 second lead, as Ford hits the wall again. He's been doing that every lap.
Off of turn 2, he's struggling with the rotation in 1 and 2. He had gotten past Nico, but now he's fallen back behind after hitting the wall from turn 2.
Ford is really fast, but I think that's just running high is one thing. It probably helps him, but most of the time he's not doing it correctly. As he did it there, good.
Yeah, better exit there for him. We're about to have a battle for second. We're also having a battle for fourth right now. Blazer and Kimmy side by side. Kimmy looking to make that move on the outside. There's going to be a little bit of contact, but Kimmy's going to keep it clean on the outside. Can he keep it out of the wall? Yes, he can. Very nice move from Kimmy if he can make this get done. If he can get it done around the outside of 1 and 2.
And up front, Ford makes a pass. Both of them into the wall. Ford sends both Nico and him into the wall. I guess a little taste of Nico's medicine has he caused 2 cautions back early in the race. As Ford can
Blazer up the track. He ran into Kimmy's quarter panel. I thought he was going to spin him out, but they recover. But Kimmy takes that spot then.
I was hoping not to see a type of bubble incident.
Yeah.
So luckily they saved it, but man.
So Kimmy gets that spot back. He's gonna set his sights on Nico and Ford, who are now settling in second and third. Ford in the number 99 car. He's gonna try to chase down Karinga, who's gotten a good gap with these 2 cars behind him fighting. And I'm not really sure when we're gonna see these cars pit because so many cautions. The tire life is really an unknown at this point. So we know they can go from Corey Wilson 40, 45 laps or so on a set of tires. And so we expect to see like the second to last stop around 120, 110, that lap number. Right now we're on 96. If these guys can stretch it to about that point, they could make it on one more stop after that.
As speaking of pits, Spring comes into pit.
Spring number 37 car clean in the pits. He's getting his car serviced. We're watching him clean out of the pits as well, as Nico, I think, was struggling there for a second. Is that Kimi right on the back of him? Yes, it is. Here comes Kimi looking for a move on the inside into turn 3. This is for 3rd place.
You know, it's crazy how these... Oh, Blazer in the wall back there with Among Us. Oh, wait, I think something might be happening. I don't know if that was retaliation, because remember, earlier in the race, Blazer had some problems with Among Us. I don't know what's going on back here, but I think we should keep an eye on it.
For sure, as actually up front, Nico hits the wall, and Kimi takes that spot away. That's 3rd place for Kimi after a mistake from Nico. And he's
in the back...
Looking further back, yeah, we see Prime in the wall. He's well off the pace now.
I was going to say, apologize for cutting off earlier, but in the back, Blazer did try something and almost got himself spun. Was able to save it with rear damage, but unfortunate for Blazer.
So it is getting tight with these drivers. I think they're getting a little bit impatient. They've seen a lot of the cautions. They were hoping to be much further along in this race by now. We've been going for over an hour at this point, and we just hit halfway. So these drivers in for the long haul, and it's playing with their patience. They got to keep their right mindset if they want to have a chance at the end.
Definitely, as we see Karinga hit the wall a little bit, and Ford is now right there. Can we maybe see him make a move here?
Maybe so. Both drivers run pretty high off the corner. Karinga's in the wall, and Ford's going to the inside. Side by side through the dog leg. Ford is going to have the advantageous position on the inside of the track with the nose ahead. He sends it. Oh, Karinga's in the back of him. He puts him up the track. They're fighting for the lead here as Karinga and Ford going back and forth down into turn 1 now.
On turn 1, they stay side by side. The battling is helping Spring catch up. Will Ford hit the wall here? He usually used to doing that. He's not going to. He's going to have a huge run.
What a move.
He's going to pass Karinga.
Around the outside of 1 and 2, a phenomenal move from just Ford 3 and the number 99 car. That was incredible. Now they're going to have to deal with Spring, who's on fresh tires. He's lapped, I believe he's 1 lap down. It might be 2, but he's on fresh tires. He's going to try to dispose of the leaders to help his position with the pit stops.
As you can see, the tires definitely help see how much it is, how much faster he is, and Nico is in this.
Yep, Nico on the pits there. Watching Spring, it's a great visual of how much the tires affects your car's handling, because Spring, who is just able to, frankly, blow by Karinga, now he's working on Ford. So the tires are a huge difference in time here. Because not only can you carry more speed in the corner, but that also allows you to get more speed off the corner on the straightaway, unless you hit the wall. As now Karinga's looking back to pass Spring again, and that's not great for his tire strategy.
It's definitely not helping him either. As you see, he lost a little bit of time on Ford that turn. As he sends it in, might be the tires kicking in now.
So we expect to see Spring and Nico, who just pit, where they're going to have to make 2 more stops to the end. Like I said before, anybody who can stretch it to about lap, I really think you got to be about 120 can make it on just 1 more stop after this. It's all going to be about who can make the tires last and who can keep their tires in good shape throughout a stint, as I think we're seeing Kimi do just that. He's closing in on Karinga for second.
Kimi, your pole sitter this race. He's been up and down everywhere in the positions. And Among Us is in pits.
Yep, number 7 car in the pit lane. He's got a clean stop. He's out of his box. Again, a long pit lane here at Phoenix. So he's probably going to go another lap down to Ford, who is just ahead of Spring right now. That battle for second really heating up. Karinga now has got just about, I'd say, 5 or 6 car lengths over Kimi, who is closing the gap quickly. And look at the line for Kimi. He's able to get turned down earlier, get momentum off the straightaway, and look at the run he carries all the way down the straightaway into turn 1.
So on the front stretch, Blazer is in pits, so that adds another driver.
Blazer in the
This
pits.
is on the lead lap.
As, again, into turn 3, Kimi's now right there. He is right there on Karinga. This is going to be the battle for second, as Kimi's going to try to take away the spot. Here he goes. Karinga has to lift. And now Kimi's going to go to the inside. He should get the spot off of Karinga. Into turn 1, he will do just that. Kimi is taking away second place.
And on the Karinga gonna try and fight with it, as Kimi is just really fast.
He is. He is flying in that number 21 machine.
Comes Karinga, gonna try something maybe. Gonna stay behind him. He was just barely almost there. As Ford is getting now trapped by these lap cars up front.
Yeah, Ford dealing with a lot of traffic. Now Spring is going to go past him. He was stuck behind Prime for a while, and now Spring gets past him on the fresh tires. And I think Kimi had to deal with the same thing getting around Blazer. Kimi and Karinga struggling to get around Blazer. Now Karinga's up the inside of Kimi. He's going to get that spot back off of Kimi. Now Kimi with a beautiful crossover off of turn 4. Oh, that was gorgeous from Kimi in the number 21 car. He's going to get back to the inside and take the spot away again.
That is speed. That just shows you the speed right there. Kimi, an amazing front stretch, as Blazer now gonna try to go up to get his lap back. He's going
Oh, he's got 3 wide. Oh my goodness, up the inside. He takes that away. But now he's wide and up the track. Kimi takes it back on the inside, and he doesn't really want to have to fight with the lapped cars. Karinga's going into the pits.
Oh, he almost missed it.
It was close. It was really close. Prime is also pit. That got him out of the way of Ford. But Karinga pitting here. Oh, I thought he missed his pit stop, but he's just in and good. And we're gonna have to watch the gap to Nico. Nico just went by, and he could have undercut Karinga here. As Spring and Ford still fighting. That's Spring trying to go 1 lap down instead of 2, I believe. And Kimi's still ahead of Blazer. As we look back, off of turn number 4, I believe that is Nico back there. He could make the pass on Karinga and take away this spot. Here we go then. Yep, Karinga off the pit limiter, but Nico has already passed him and gone out in front. So Nico ahead of Karinga, and that pit battle under green flag pit stops right there.
You might see some of these other guys who have to pit come in very soon, as Spring did pass Ford.
All right, that is not for position, but it's been an ongoing battle because Spring does not want to be trapped an extra lap down. But, I mean, frankly, Ford is going to want to trap everyone a lap down if possible. So it's really hurt Spring's race with the tires here, but for Ford, he doesn't want to lose too much time fighting him. But if he can keep Spring more laps down, that's a better position for him and 1 less car he has to worry about.
With Spring being in front of Ford, I don't know if it's helping. Oh, I don't know
Spring
if it's
hits the
helping
wall.
Ford, or I mean, I don't know if it's helping Kimi or not helping Kimi. Because
Might
right
help
now,
him here if he gets in his way. Oh, contact. Ford
Yes.
gives him a bump.
trying to get him out of the way to the inside goes Ford.
Spring
They're
fighting
side
him on
by
the
side
outside.
now.
Yep, Spring fights him on the outside of turn 4. He's going to clear him and take the bottom if he wants it, but he gives him the inside. The gap back to Kimi has actually grown. It's 4.5 seconds now. But Spring and Ford fighting. like it's for the win, but it's for a car trying to stay on the lead lap. Spring currently runs in 6th. He is trying to stay on that lead lap with Ford. It is super, super tight between these two.
That was an amazing turn by Spring there, going on the outside and having that better of a run as Timmy has gained a few lost a few seconds. So now he is 2 seconds closer to, or 0.2 seconds closer to Ford.
We expect these cars to be pitting soon, and that's Kimi coming into the pits right now. So the 21 car peels it off into the pit lane. We're going to have to see what the gap is as there goes Koringa and Nico. Koringa has actually gotten past Nico. That's an important move for him to make because that was for position. And I know they were laps down, but a big time move for Koringa to clear Nico on the fresher tires and be on a good strategy. However, I think Kimi is really going to be in a good spot here. Pitting on lap 120. He should be able to make it just one more
Ford's
stop after this. And there you go. Ford on the same strategy. He's in the pits. There goes Koringa and Nico. As race control is having some stomach problems, they might have to red flag the race here. Kimi out of the pits. So he is going once more. And crucially, he's out well behind Koringa and Nico as they're going to be coming around the exit with Ford. You can see Ford up there. It's going to be between Koringa and Ford, who's just hit the pit exit limiter. It was a very, very clean stop for Ford. I think he's going to come out still in the lead.
Crazy.
And it must have been a rough stop for Kimi, because it'll be Ford in the lead, then Koringa, then Nico, and then Kimi back in 4th, I believe.
Yes, that is. I mean, again, Kimi has had an up and down day. We're still only 122 laps in, so, and that day could turn back around again. You just have to wait and tell.
Yeah, I mean, the gap didn't change too much. He lost about a second and a half to, or about a second to Ford throughout the pit stop sequence, but the big undercut from both Koringa and Nico has allowed them to jump in between them, and it really has hurt Kimi's track position. He's down in the 4th. As Kimi's now dealing with the 1 car of Prime. Prime looking to the inside here, but yeah, but Kimi needs to stay clear of him if he wants to make inroads towards the cars in front. He'll have fresher tires, but it's a pretty big gap to close down on the 2 cars directly in front of him. As we take another look at the points here, Koringa, as we've mentioned before, into the race in the lead. He is currently running 2nd, but off strategy. We're not sure if he can make it on one more stop or not. Same for Nico, running in 2nd. Really, I think the battle for the win is going to be between Ford and Kimi. Kimi has about 6 seconds to make up if he wants to fight with Ford, though. And that's how the points look. 3rd place Bubble, who is out of the race now. That is a big storyline here. Bubble, he is still going to get points, but I think it's going to be pretty rough for him in a day where there's a lot of attrition. He was one of the first ones to DNF. So we're gonna take a moment here to ride on board with the number 21 car of Kimi for Plato's Perfect Pitch, brought to you by Plato's Apex Network. As we come back to you live here from Phoenix International Raceway, on board with Kimi there for a second. We saw him maneuver his car around and work his way past Nico, but he has lost a lot of time to the leader. He's now 8.5 seconds back from Ford, and honestly, he's kind of maintaining pace with Karinga in the 66 car. I gotta say, it's been a really strong run from Karinga this stint. He pit really early. We don't know if he can make it on with his tires or not after one more stop, but he's maintaining really good pace here in the second position, and he's really keeping that gap to Kimi really consistent. And although Ford is just on another level tonight, he has completely gapped the field behind him.
As he passed the two lap cars on the Plato's perfect pitch, as Springy, one of those lap cars, or is he a lap car? Sorry about that. Has went in the pits.
He had just gone one lap down, and he went into the pits. That's going to be going 2 laps down there as Ford goes by. So Spring will be 2 laps down. Coming out of the pits. Oh, and there it is.
Oh!
A speeding violation for Spring.
That is unfortunate. Oh, make that 3.
Yeah, he's gonna have to serve a drive-through penalty, and that is really just gonna kill his race here. He was running 6th. You can expect him to drop all the way to the back of the field, behind Prime, behind everybody else. I'm not sure exactly where that's going to put him, but I think it'll be about 8th. And he's going to go and serve it this time.
That might have completely killed his race. But, fortunate.
Definitely has. As Ford goes by, that's going to put Spring 3 laps down. We see Karinga fighting with Blazer, going defensive. Blazer up the inside. This is a battle with a lapped car. Karinga is running 2nd right now. Kimi's still behind him in 3rd with Nico in 4th. But Blazer fighting with Karinga even though he's a lap down.
Not sure what he's trying to do, but Blazer has been off the pace almost this whole race. So it is a little strange to be fighting with Karinga again as a lap car, but racing's racing.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Blazer currently running, I believe, in the 6th position. The next car up the road would be Among Us, who is very far ahead of Spring. Almost a full lap as Karinga takes away that apex. All this fighting has allowed Kimi to catch up. We might see a battle for 2nd here in a few laps.
Definitely, with how fast Kimi has been. Again, the tires are getting weaker, so Kimi might not have as much of the run that he could, or that he was using back a few laps ago, or a lot of laps ago.
Yeah, but now crucially, Blazer's in between them. Kimi has to work his way past Blazer before he's able to make inroads towards Karinga, as they've both lost a tremendous amount of time. Ford has just come into another league here at the in the second half of this race. I believe that gap is up to about 12 seconds between Ford and Kimi.
And back here, Karinga hit the wall a little bit, I believe, and has allowed Kimi to catch up a lot as Kimi passes Blazer.
So there you go. Kimi works his way past Blazer. He's going to set his sights on Karinga. That's for 2nd place. And, yeah, 12.25 seconds between 1st and 3rd. 11.6 seconds between 1st and 2nd. Ford is putting on a masterclass here tonight at Phoenix.
You see Nico in pits, pit a little bit earlier, but is now in pits now, so that we could probably see a lot more people go to pits very soon.
Yeah, and we know for sure that Nico cannot make it to the end from here. He will have to pit again. Same with Spring, but he also sped and had to serve a drive-through penalty. So Nico will be taking an extra pit stop here near the end of the race. Now, I'm not sure where he is on tire sets, but he might have to use a scuff set on the last stint as well. I think the next car we're going to look to pit that's in this front pack is going to be Karinga. He pit a few laps after Nico in the previous round of stops as he hits the wall. And here comes Kimi with a run. It's about to get exciting for second place. Can Kimi go for a move on the inside of turn 3?
He will. As they say, side by side. Maybe will Karinga have enough? He will. They're going to stay side by side coming to the start-finish line. Now coming to turn number 1.
Super close between these two right at the line. But Kimi has better tires in the inside line. If he takes away the exit here, he can have it. He kind of pushed him up a little bit in the corner, but it was mostly clean from Kimi's end on the exit of the corner. Karinga did
Nico
tap the ball.
wrecked. Just some rear damage for Nico, but he wrecked on turn number 3. Looked
That's
like
further
he
behind.
just spun
Contact.
out of nowhere.
Contact between Kimi and Karinga's. Karinga's fighting back here.
As Karinga and Kimi are allowing the lap car of Blazer to catch up. Karinga's tires are definitely showing now, as you can see him struggling on that corner.
Yeah, and he needs to make it probably about 15 more laps on those tires if he wants to do it on one more stop to the end. Kimi with a little bit of a bump to the back of Karinga there. He's going to get to his inside.
As you saw among us in pits a few seconds ago, Kimi leading ahead of Karinga. They're still going to stay single file right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's finally going to make that move stick as long as Karinga doesn't throw one up the inside here at turn 3 and 4. He's not going to be able to do it with Kimi having slightly fresher tires. Kimi keeps that spot, but Karinga is staying very close indeed. This is the battle for second as Karinga dives to the inside.
He's going to make a move. He's going to stay. But remember, the tires are not going to help him right there. It's going to allow Kimi to have the crossover.
A beautiful switchback.
As Kimi takes second away. Yes.
Oh, a bump there. Karinga gave Kimi a bump. They're fighting back and forth. A beautiful switchback as Nico's in the pits again. Not sure what happened there with the driver of the 26, but he's back into the pits. And it's kind of falling apart here. He was running
going
fourth.
in. He's in the garage.
And that's going to be it for Nico. He was running fourth, but that's going to be it for the driver of the 26. And I think that's going to elevate Among Us into the top 4.
Yes, and from confirmation, just to say, he is now out of the race. So he's called it off.
So that is all for Nico. We're going to see if we can't get a word with the driver here in a little bit. But back to the battle for second. It is raging on. Kimi spent many laps trying to catch up to Karinga, and now they're fighting it out as we just hit the 3/4 mark of the race. Just 51 laps to go here at Phoenix. Kimi back up the inside again.
The side by side. This battle has just been non-stop crossovers. But can we see more things here?
Karinga trying it on the outside. Kimi leaves him a lane there, so Karinga's going to take it. He's just on his quarter panel, side drafting into turn 3. Kimi has to lift there. Oh my gosh, it's so close between those cars. You couldn't fit a slip of paper between them. As Karinga's still hanging it on the outside, Kimi still running the inside. He's going to clear him here into 1 and 2, but did he go in too deep? Karinga trying to set up the switchback, but he does not have the run. Kimi takes away second spot once more.
And it looks like Karinga is starting to fade a little bit. Can he maybe catch up a little more here? He's going to try to, as Kimi, an amazing corner, and Karinga almost into the wall. He kind of caught up there just a little bit.
Into 1 and 2. Kimi likes to run a slightly wider line, a later apex, and Karinga likes to dive it in.
He's out, blown out tire. Blazer's a blown out tire.
Oh, that's a blown right rear and is right on the front straightaway. You can see that car limping around the track. If he can't get it home in one piece, we might see a caution here. And
They're 3 wide.
Spring jumping in. There's so many things happening here at Phoenix. Kimi backs out. Karinga's going to take it away. As Spring is multiple laps down, but he's got fresh tires. Karinga's in the wall.
Oh, that's
Kimi
just
hits him.
ruining it. And the Karinga,
Oh, Spring
big
rolls
problems
Karinga
into the wall
again.
again. But Blazer
Blazer
spins.
spun out, and 3 and 4. Caution is out. Caution is out. That is it.
Yeah, he cannot. What just happened?
Again, and Prime made it into the pits. That's gonna help his race. So about 3 different things happened there. Prime was going into the pits. Blazer tried to lip it home on a flat tire. He almost got back, but spun out. And then Spring was battling with Kimi and Karinga, despite being multiple laps down. Walled Karinga twice. Kimi got that spot back. So just absolute craziness here on lap 154.
That all happened in like 2 laps. That's crazy though.
And man, with that caution just like that, Ford, who had over a 12-second lead, that gap has vanished.
Definitely. Oh, now when you think about it now, it's horrible. Horrible for Ford. That could have been his win. If everything went smooth, but things always happen.
Yeah, it's almost exactly the same situation as Bristol. Ford leading at the end, drivers trying to save their tires. 5 laps to go, Bubble blows a tire and causes the caution to come out. Ford loses the race because of that. So a very similar deal here, just more drawn out, as there was a caution with, I believe, 45 laps to go. Sorry, 47 is when the caution came out.
Yep. And you know, they just released Nico at the care center, so I think we got someone on the spot.
We're
Go
gonna
talk to
try to get an interview here with Nico. And here we are, Nico, driver of the number 26 car. What happened there? We saw you pull it down into the garage. You were in like a net 4th place. What happened?
Yeah, honestly, I was just very tired. I don't know if y'all saw the wreck between me and Prime. That's why I decided, nah, I'm done with this. And yeah, just pulled it into pits.
Yeah, I think we missed that wreck, but what happened there with Prime that kind of just caused you to call it quits here at Phoenix after a really strong run? Honestly, he had good pace, fighting up in the top 5. What happened with Prime?
Yeah, I had recently pit, had way faster cornering speed, and then he just hits the wall and makes me spin. Unfortunately, it's just a racing incident. I'm gonna blame him, but yeah.
Alrighty, well, glad to hear you're okay. Best of luck for next weekend going into Texas.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was the driver of the number 26 car, Nico. A strong run today, but it will end just like Bubbles and Corey Wilson's with a DNF. As we have pit stops here, Ford is in the pits. Lap 157, Ford's going to try to stretch it and make it to the end. Same with Spring, and I believe that was Karinga.
Kimi didn't pit.
I'm kind of surprised to see Kimi not pit here. I think you gotta pit here and try to make it to the end if you've got a fresh set of tires.
What is Kimi thinking? Now that I think about it, the last time he pit was like, wasn't it around the same time as
He pit one lap before Ford. Right on lap 120. Kimi's going to be on very old tires here. So we do get green this time from race control, but Kimi is going to be a sitting duck on this restart.
I mean, let's hope he knows what he's doing. Let's hope.
Yo, Kimi's tires are 34%.
34%. So Bubble has randomly put on a headset and gone down to the pits to figure out what has happened with the 21 car and their strategy. We thank the driver of the number 48 for joining the team here on Plato's Apex Network. Kimi on 30, in the 30s, in the 30% with his tires. And you can see the crazy runs behind. Ford has already gained multiple positions. He's up in the 4th. Among Us is making contact with Kimi. Here comes Ford trying to run the outside. Oh, he's going to get a run. He's going to go to the outside of Blazer. As up front, it's Among Us and Kimi fighting for the lead with 42 laps to go.
You know, the fact that Kimi's actually keeping up with these guys is crazy.
Here comes
He's not
Karinga,
doing
though.
much.
Karinga on
The
fresh
3 wide.
tires, 3 wide up the inside. He's going to make the pass on Kimi and Blazer at the same time up the inside into turn 3.
And they're still 3 wide with Blazer in the middle with Ford. Kimi,
is gonna make it
4
4
wide,
wide.
baby! That's so close! As they're still 3 wide.
Great battle here at Phoenix on the restart. Karinga still up the inside. There goes Blazer with a push from Ford. Ford is looking for somewhere to go, but he doesn't have it. Kimi finally
still
falls
3
back,
wide.
but yeah, Spring has put Ford in the middle there as Karinga is now to the inside of Blazer.
And they're just letting Among Us pull away?
And that's huge for Among Us. I think he is going to have to make a pit stop to make it to the end, but getting a good gap here early is huge.
Kimi's in, by the way.
Oh, Kimi's in the pits.
Pit, that is unfortunate. I don't know what he was thinking, but definitely failed.
We're gonna keep an eye on the rest of the pack while we try to watch Kimi's pit stop here, as Ford is now behind Karinga. Those are the 2 main cars that pit on that previous caution. We think they can make it to the end with maybe just a little bit of saving. But there goes Kimi. He's going to go a lap down in his pit box right there. As, yeah, the battle between Karinga and Ford, I think, is going to be the battle for the win if we go green to the end.
Definitely, as Karinga hits the wall, and a few laps earlier, Among Us also hit the wall. So, some problems for that. They struggle on the front stretch, as Ford with a huge run.
Here comes Ford looking to the outside of Karinga. There's nothing given there, but he does build up a run. A pretty good run for the number 99. He looks to the inside using the curb. He's going to go to the inside of Karinga.
And here they are catching to Among Us. As Karinga going to give him a little push.
Yeah, they're both on
They're
fresh
all
tires.
here now.
Oh, Ford to the inside. Among Us fades down. Karinga's looking. Oh, and Among Us in the wall big time. That's going to open the door for Karinga up the inside of Ford.
But
And
don't
now this
cancel
is
out Among Us yet. He's still coming.
Ford with a run off the corner, though. He's going to stay side by side with Karinga. I think this is the battle for the win right here. 37 to go. The 2 cars that we think can make it side by side through 3 and 4.
And Ford almost into the wall as Karinga still stays side by side, but Ford is going to get the most out of it and is leading into turn number 2.
Oh, Ford tried to come down on Karinga there. He's able to do so and is able to take the lead away. So Ford leads with 36 laps to go after a tremendous previous stint under green flag, built a huge gap. As we had said before, it was erased. The battle rages on between Ford and Karinga.
Karinga going to make a move into the inside. They're side by side now. On the back straightaway now. Ford hits the wall. That's going to ruin him.
Karinga was using up the left-hand side of the number 99 car there in 1 and 2. As Ford goes defensive, Among Us sends it.
Ooh.
Oh, that was really tight there on the entry into turn 3. And I don't think Ford's going to be too happy with Karinga. I feel like he's going to think Karinga used him up too much and ultimately ended up with him in the wall. Now
Let's hope
Among
we
Us
don't have
gives
another
Ford
bubble.
a bump. And really, that's going to play a big part at the end of this race if Ford can't get away from
Oh,
Among Us.
no! He gets into the wall as he's shoving up Among Us.
Ford and Among Us. Among Us comes
no!
down. They're in the grass. They're going to slide back up. Oh, my goodness. Caution is out as Among Us slides back on the track. Spring masterfully avoids it. They all get away without
that
front
could've
end
been it.
damage. But, oh, my goodness. Like
That could
we
have been
said,
it for Ford.
I think, like we said, tempers overflowing. Among Us and Ford getting together.
They're not being patient.
No, really not.
Oh!
And
He's
there
out.
You go.
Oh!
Oh, and he slams into them under pacing. That might be a race suspension for the next race too.
He should have he shouldn't have done that.
Definitely not. I think Race Control saw the move from Among Us turning left on the straightaway into Ford, and Race Control decided that he was going to be black flagged and disqualified from the race, and then in a emotional moment, Among Us ran into them under pacing, and that I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a race suspension for that. As everyone's in the pits here for pits open, I'm kind of surprised to see Kimmy in the number 21 car pit.
Karinga, who was in second or up in the top 2, tried to pit in the beginning but messed up. Is now all the way in the back.
Yeah, he's lost out to Prime. He's lost out to Blazer. He's lost out to Kimmy. Where does Spring come out? Spring comes out ahead of Ford. What in the world happened with Spring's pit stop? It was incredible. The driver who had a drive-through penalty for speeding, I think he's going to be in the lead with 32 to go.
We still got a lot of racing to go. Oh.
There it is. We see green this time given, but Spring, amazing pit stop from Spring.
Gonna help him a lot.
And really the big loser there was Karinga, because you remember Ford getting involved with Among Us. Karinga was pulling away out in front. Spring avoided the crash.
Yep.
That gave him the lead, but Karinga with a terrible pit stop. He is now at the back of the pack. As we're going to go on board with the number 37. Looking back, green flag is out. It's a good restart for Spring as he is pulling away from Ford just a bit. Ford all over the back of him in 1 and 2.
And Ford is going to maybe make a move into the inside, as he will, trying to pass Spring.
Ford hoping to get it back immediately, which he will successfully do. As further back, we do have Kimmy trying to make a move on Blazer. He gets done, but here comes Prime. Prime is going to make a move for third.
Back up front, Ford is completely pulling away now, as they're all battling, which is not going to help them at all.
That's really not a good corner for Prime, too. Karinga gets spin physics off the
David
curb.
Karinga!
He spins, he's back up the track, and he gets front-end damage.
Oh my god! And the one who has not gotten front-end damage for the whole race will, with 30 laps to go. Wow.
We talked about the curb. You can be too aggressive on it, and it happened there for Karinga. And it's, man, there's nothing you could do as you slide through the grass back up the track. Lucky to avoid everyone else. We saw Blazer and Kimmy. Karinga kind of threaded the needle as he came back up the track there.
Oh. That was a scary hit, though. That was really scary for the number 66 of Karinga.
Yeah, huge hit there. We're about to have pit stops here under yellow flag. I don't know if anyone is going to pit or not. We're going to try to talk to Among Us, the driver number 7 car, here in a second. After being involved in the crash and then being disqualified from the race, I'm sure he's going to have a lot of things to say about this, as pits are open and no one is coming.
I think
so. We should see green this time, but yep, we have the driver number 7 car, Among Us. Among Us, walk us through what happened there with Ford.
I mean, he was using the whole track. It was my turn. Then I guess if I wreck him, it's wrong. But if he runs me all over the goddamn track, it's right. But no, if he races Texas next week, not going to tell him what's happening, but it's on. I'm going to keep on running him that aggressive. I was putting together a solid run, and things just happen.
Yeah, and what do you think about that? You would have just had you had another reset there, but Race Control disqualified from you from the race. What do you think about that decision from Race Control?
I mean, it was definitely not the correct choice, but I mean, they have their rules they got to follow. But I'll be back.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Glad to hear you're okay, and expect to see you soon back out on track.
Oh, you're
Definitely
going
see you soon.
to. You're going to.
Alrighty. So actually a pretty sportsman reply there from Among Us, but definitely on with Ford as we see green flag. Ford leads. We are down to 6 cars remaining in the race.
As Ford has a little bit of more of a jump than everyone else. As
Springs in the
Spring
wall.
and Prime. Oh!
Springs in
Spring
the
and
wall,
Prime
and that
have
gives
bad
Prime
restarts.
second place. Prime has moved up into second.
Holy. Very wide at the back.
Oh yeah, that's
they
gonna end
shoved
up with
Blazer down.
Blazer in the wall. He's upset. Spring is upset with Karinga. Tipper's overflowing again here. We expected it. We're seeing it.
He sets him up.
Prime's in the wall. He makes contact. Oh, Spring is on 2 wheels, and Blazer gets
He
spun.
dumped him.
Oh my
He just
goodness.
dumped him.
Blazer spins, but there's no caution. I don't think he really has much damage. He has no damage, actually.
Whew.
So we keep it green.
Oh, that.
Ford leads from Kimi from Prime in third. We've got 25 laps to go. Everyone can make it from here. It is going to be go time.
Blazer's waiting. By the way, I want to say that Blazer is waiting. From what it looks like, he's going way slower than the pack
Oh boy.
up front.
Lots of things happening right now. Blazer might be waiting around. Race Control won't like that. Race Control also said that the restart laps are under review. And then Ford hit the wall off of turn 2, and Kimi is right there with the leader. As now we hear from Race Control that the incidents were unrelated, there would be no penalties for the restart. Oh, Kimi goes way too deep there. He's in the wall. Oh, he kills his run. Here comes Prime. He's
that
going to pass him.
completely ruined him. Man.
So Prime is taking back second place. Kimi hits the wall again, and there goes Spring. Kimi's down to 4th now.
And that up is going straight back to a down. Kimi, with a strong run for these few laps, is now slowly decreasing as he hits the walls almost every turn.
I'll tell you what, it's closing up between Prime and Spring for second place. That's getting exciting. Karinga is right there on the back of Kimi. There goes Prime. He's wide as Spring is going to get that move done. And now here comes Karinga up the inside of Kimi. He's going to go up the inside of Prime. Oh, he runs to the back of Prime, and he puts him in the wall, and Prime gets damage.
That might be it. I think that might be it. Or
Oh, and
Karinga.
caution is out. Karinga got a warning for walling, but Karinga also ran into the back of Prime, and Prime
Is that
might be
it?
out of the race. I think he had front end damage. Yeah, Prime is going to be out.
Oh, that's not going to be good.
Prime, who's been running second for the latter part of this race, I think he just got straight up dumped by Karinga there. And yep, there it is.
He did.
He's out.
There is no argument about that.
I wonder if Race Control will have anything to do with Karinga there.
As it was not on purpose from what it looks like. But
I don't think it was, but I mean, intentional or
I
not,
think
he
you
still,
did,
he still put another
Yeah.
driver out of the race. I mean, Prime, who's been running second with 21 laps to go, is now relegated to a sixth place finish. As there it is, Karinga gets a drive-through under green for causing an incident at DNF. Pits are open, and
whoa.
second, third, and fourth go into the pits. Ford and Blazer stay out.
That's a strange strategy.
Yeah, I wonder if Karinga, Kimi, if they have maybe a fresher set of tires, maybe a set of scuffs to go on. I don't know what sets of tires they've taken, but I know Karinga, I think he was one of the ones that pit early on like lap 10. He should have a set of tires that's pretty good, just 10 laps on him. I'm not sure about Spring or Kimi though.
But again, Karinga is going to have to do a drive-through, so
That's right.
that's going to eliminate him. Sorry about that. That's going to eliminate him out of the race until maybe another caution, but who will know?
Yeah, Karinga will need another caution to get back into the race after having to serve a drive-through under green for causing that incident. Kimi pits. I'm not really sure about what kind of tires he has.
By the way, Kimmy is on scuffs right now. Kimmy is on scuffs.
Ooh.
Yeah, we believed he went to scuffs. We're not sure how good they are, though, because he was not one of the drivers that pit on lap 10.
He says 89% scuffs.
Very nice for Kimi. He's got a pretty good set of tires there. That's only about 6 laps on a set of tires.
Karinga has also confirmed stuff, but I do not know his percentage.
Well, Karinga pit on lap 10, so I believe those are going to be about 80% or so. 75% for Karinga. We're not sure how Ford's tires are looking, but obviously Karinga, Kimi, and Spring think it's worth it to pit. Karinga will have to serve the drive-through. He'll need a caution to get back in the race, but it is getting exciting. We should see green this time, and Ford will lead from Blazer. And then after Karinga serves his drive-through, Kimi and Spring will both move up 1 position.
You know, I'm not sure how Bubble keeps getting these bikes. You got to stop leaving them around.
I don't know, man. Bubble gets crashed out of a race, or he crashes himself out of a race, and all of a sudden he's put on the headset. He's running back and forth between the pit lanes for us, getting the intel. As green flag is out, a good restart for Blazer, but Ford is going to hold on to the lead here. Further back, Kimi to the inside. Oh, Blazer gets sideways. He's up into the wall. He loses out immediately as Kimi takes away 2nd place, and I think he's got some of the freshest set of tires with 18 laps to go.
That is so unfortunate for Blazer. He was strong right there. He could have showed potential as Kimi, with the freshest tires, is going to try.
He's trying for sure. Karinga is going to serve his drive-through. He will go 1 lap down, I believe. But the battle is between Ford and Kimi. There's a tire offset here as Ford hits the wall. This is going to be Kimi's chance. Here he
He's going to pounce like a predator.
To the outside.
Ooh!
He's holding him there. He's staying on the outside. Ford leaves him the space. Kimi with a big run, but Ford just barely leads that lap, I think. Spring is right there, too. If he can capitalize, he's going to look to the inside. 3 wide. 3 wide off of turn 2. Oh, and Spring puts them both in the wall. Kimi's going to fall back.
As Ford barely stuck on. This is getting intense now.
16 laps to go. It is go time. Spring in the lead, but Ford is going to switch back. He's to the inside, and he's going to take the lead back.
As Ford leads now, but maybe another switch back with Spring. Can he get a better run than Ford?
Yes, he can. Up the inside.
Woo! Don't leave out Kimi, though.
Yep, they're fighting back and forth. I think Kimi's got some of the freshest set of tires. He makes... Oh, he's right up to the back of Ford. I thought he was going to hit him. Now Ford back up the inside of Spring.
And Ford takes the lead from that push. And they're single file out right now, but that's not going to be for long.
Definitely not. Spring a little bit lower, a little bit better there. One of the cars that pit under that last caution. I don't know how Spring's tires look either, but he looks to have pace with 14 to go.
Spring might be able to get a better corner on this corner.
Here he goes.
He will.
He's got
to
get the run. He's looking at the inside.
He's going to
blocks.
He's not going to be able to do it.
Look, Ford went deep, though. Spring's going to go back to the inside. A good move from Spring here and a good run off the corner could give him the lead.
And it will, but he hasn't cleared him yet. Maybe on this corner he will. Nope, he hasn't.
Ford keeping it tough on the outside.
Side.
Where does Kimi go? Kimi's going to build up a run here off the corner. Here goes Kimi, 3 wide to the inside. No, Spring blocks him.
No. Oh, I was hoping he would make it 3 wide. That would make it more intense. But as we see Ford leading, he's cleared. Never mind, he hasn't. They're 2 wide now.
Kimi again with the run. Kimi's getting great exits off the corners. Now he's going to tuck back in behind Ford as Springs tries to clear for the lead. 3 cars all fighting for the win here. Coming around to see 11 laps to go at Phoenix.
as they're single filed out again. Kimmy not doing anything. Spring gets a little tap from Ford. Here comes Kimmy.
Kimmy goes to the inside of Ford. He's going to take away second spot. And now it's going to be Spring versus Kimmy. The top two is Spring. Oh, he's really slow there on the entry. There's a little bit of contact, but they keep it all straight.
As they're about 1 car lengths away from each other. We're 10 to go now at Phoenix.
Spring's a little bit wide. Here comes Kimmy. Kimmy looking to move up to the inside of Spring. There's a little bit of contact. Kimmy with the run. He's there.
Now side by side. Could Ford pop up somewhere here?
Oh, Spring with a bumper back up the inside. He makes contact with
They're going to
Kimmy
make
on
it
the
3
exit.
wide. Ford with the run. He's going to take it now.
But Spring, he's going to go back on the apron again. He can't get it done. Ford clears him.
But here comes Kimmy, giving a push to Spring.
Now he pushes Ford. He wants to keep those cars side by side to build up a run off the exit. Ford makes contact with Spring. He uses him up. Where does Kimmy go?
Maybe 3 wide again.
He's got the run
He
up
will.
the inside.
Woo! 8 to go.
Back-to-back laps, we've seen them go 3 wide down the front straightaway. They're using the apron to rotate the cars. The tires are starting to degrade, but they've got 8 laps to shoot it out among them and decide a winner.
And they are battling it out. They will not stop. They will play rough whenever they can. They're going to go 3 wide again.
Oh,
He hit
Ford
the
bounces
wall.
off the wall, but he's trying to side draft Spring. Spring clears for the lead.
We're 7 to go now. That was 3 times in a row we've had it. 3 wide.
They single out now, but Spring's in the wall. Where does Kimmy go? He's going to the outside.
Ford going to go to the outside with him too. Oh,
Kimmy's in the wall.
he's going to go to the inside though.
Kimmy bounced off the
3
wall
wide
and kept the
again.
run. 3 wide again.
Ford leads. Here's Kimmy.
Spring built up a run there. Who does he go with? He backs out and stays behind.
Could we go 3 wide again? As Kimmy has a slower corner, but he's going to get more of a run off.
Oh, Kimmy
As we're
clears
going
him.
to stay single file.
Oh, but
there's
Ford at the
Ford.
crossover. Oh, he's keeping him tight down
Oh.
on the entry. Ford enters on the very bottom, but he takes away the spot.
Here comes Kimmy.
Oh, Ford
Oh, into
bounces
the
off the
wall.
wall. He loses
Spring
a lot of
takes it.
momentum. Here goes Spring to the inside of Kimmy.
Kimmy going to stay high.
He squeezes him down on the apron a little bit, but it's all clean between the two drivers. Spring will lead this lap with just 4 to go at Phoenix.
Oh my God, this is going to be an exciting finish. We got a 3-car battle for the lead as Ford moves up Kimmy.
Ford on the oldest tires, but he's fighting for his life. He's looking to the inside of Spring. There he goes up the inside into turn 3.
The oldest tires, but he's the fastest driver out of all these 3.
Here he goes. He's pushing Spring up the track. Kimmy has a run as 2. They're going to look to go 3
3
wide again.
3 to go. Spring leads now. He has a little bit of a length now.
And he had a good corner, but Kimmy is getting a push from Ford. The 21
They're
to
going to send it
99
here.
working together there on the back straightaway. They've got to close that gap to Spring if they want to have a chance to win. We're going to see 2 laps to go this time.
Ford into the wall just a little bit. It did not do much.
Here goes Kimmy.
But
Up
here's
the
Kimmy.
inside.
He sends it. Oh. They're side by side now.
This is it. We've got just 6 more corners to go. Here comes Ford, throttling up on the inside. He has to lift as he's into the side of Spring. Off of turn number 4. It's side by side. Final lap is out here at Phoenix.
Kimmy in the low lane as Ford's gonna make it 3 wide. He's in the middle. Spring on the outside. They're gonna stay 3 wide onto this little corner with the curb. Coming to turn 3, they're staying 3 wide.
Still 3 wide into turn 3.
To the
Who gets it
turn.
done? Spring trying to
Does
get the
Ford
late
have
apex.
Here's Spring! He's there! Spring! Spring gets
I
it!
can't believe Spring with the cutback in the final quarter. The double switchback. He gets it done and wins at Phoenix.
There's no way he just did that!
What was that? Bro, what in his mind did he know to back up that quarter and come back? That was so smart.
And Bubble, after running around on the pit lane with the headset, has teleported up into the booth with us. Amazing call from Bubble at the end.
What an amazing race! Spring will get it though! Wow!
Absolutely.
Like they're all three. Everyone's going to the start finish line.
Incredible.
They all want to celebrate.
Incredible. Everybody's gone to the start finish line. The finish of the season so far, Spring is going to burn it down. Absolutely remarkable.
He deserves it. I mean, wow. He played his cards right. Oh, this Gringa.
Everybody's
They do
gathered
it.
here on the front straightaway, but Spring, your winner. Absolutely amazing finish here. Lots of strategy throughout the race, but it came down to a shootout. And Spring is going to win at Phoenix with one of the best finishes we've ever seen.
By the way, I think we had, in the last 10 laps, they had gone 3 wide about like 15, 14 times. I don't remember where they haven't gone 3 wide. They ended in 3 wide and it started in 3 wide.
Craziness. Spring burns it down. Brake rotor's on fire. But that 37 machine, he gets it done. He got it done at Bristol at the last second. He wins at Phoenix last second. And Spring absolutely amazingly wins after Ford dominated the race, just like at Bristol.
Oh, that's just unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. Ford must be devastated. Wow.
Spring brings that 37 machine to a halt here on the front straightaway at Phoenix. Oh,
And
he
that's a
flipped
little too
over.
much.
It looks like NR 2003 with that kind of weight shift.
That is.
We're going to see if we can't talk to some drivers here. Most of the other drivers have stopped on pit lane or in the garage. Spring taking his car back to the pit lane entry as wow, absolutely incredible finish. We're going to try to talk to some drivers here in a second.
There's a lot of drivers who definitely want to speak their mind out after today's race. Just man though. Again, you got to think about Ford though. That's tough. He dominated basically, just to get it ripped out of his hands, last second.
For sure. As here he is, the winner of tonight's race and the number 37 Pennzoil Machine Spring. Wow. Congratulations on the win today, sir. How does it feel to come away with a move in the last corner like that and your second win of the season?
That was amazing. That was just Kimi and Ford the whole final, like what, 30 laps. It was just us three, like constantly 3 wide, side by side. Whoever was gonna win, it was gonna be a good one.
And do you mind letting us in on the strategy a little bit? You and Kimmy pit under that last caution, both going on scuffed tires, I believe. What percentage tires were you going on to at the end there?
So, Kimi and I were both on like 80% at the start of that stint, and then we went down to 40. But Ford, he was about 20% less than us, but he was as fast, if not faster. So that little tire advantage, or not little, but like that tire advantage, was really what kept us there, because Ford would have been gone either way.
and I'd love to know your thoughts. This is the first time we've seen tire sets brought into the Bubbles Cup Championship. What are your thoughts towards this introduction and the crazy race we saw because of it?
If not for the tire sets, that whole final thing that you watched, it wouldn't have happened. So it definitely mixes up strategy a bit, and you get results like we've seen tonight.
Absolutely. Well, we will let you celebrate. Congratulations on the win tonight, sir. Your second win of the season, and you'll make inroads again towards the championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think
That was your winner.
I think we talked to.
Yeah, I think. I'd like to talk to Kimmy here. I think he finished second, I believe, there across the line.
I was not sure, but
And there he is, driver of the number 21. Kimmy, you had the lead in the middle of 3 and 4. You fought so hard, but came home second. Walk me through that last stint and the final couple of laps there.
So, first thing I want to say is I have never had so much fun in the last 30 laps of a single race ever in my life, bro. Props to Ford and Spring. They put up a hell of a fight. That's all I gotta say. That was insane. I didn't even care if I lost that. I was just having fun out there. The tire advantage, I think, was what kept us all together. I was on 85% scuffs before I pitted, and I actually went to different scuffs, but they were like 4% better. So I just knew that tire advantage was just too great. Well, not too great, but it was just enough to keep me up there. And I'm glad that Spring won. I'm very happy for everybody involved, to be honest. And yeah, I just had fun that race.
Absolutely, a very very strong showing from you today as well. You came in 6th in the championship. You didn't quite have the crazy weekend we were hoping for when we saw you were on pole and you were trying to shoot for 5th in the championship. However, you are now very close to both Lewis and Aiden for a battle for 4th in the championship. Is that on your mind as you head into Texas next weekend?
Well, yeah, because if I just keep showing up and get good finishes, I'll probably be able to get up there in the points. So that's all I really got to do, just keep on showing up, get good finishes, and yeah, knock them out there. So yeah.
All right, absolutely. Second today, but congratulations, a great battle, and we'll see you in Texas.
All right, thank you, man.
Alrighty, that was Kimmy, driver number 21, finished second, but really played the strategy great, as did Spring. We got to talk to Ford here in a second.
Definitely.
The driver who finished in 3rd. You really had the race dominated, especially in the middle part of that stint, but the decision at the end to not pit, keep the track position, and then the crazy battle at the end. Walk me through both the strategy and then the crazy battle that ultimately ended with you in 3rd.
Well, first, I just want to say that was a great race, and I was when the caution came out, I was so mad. 'Cause I knew, just like Bristol, I was probably gonna lose this race, but because I didn't have an extra set because of strategy, and if that went green, I definitely would have won. But once the caution came out, I only had my best tires were 85% scuffs that I started the race with, and put those on. Another caution came out, then I went on some other scuffs I forgot. Then it was just like the battle with Kimmy and Spring. It was amazing because I was on 20% less tires than them, so I literally had to be perfect because one wall hit literally would just ruin my race. But luckily I was able to final lap squeeze Kimmy down and Spring came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolute craziness.
Yeah, absolute craziness. It's a good race. It was a fun race. I mean, I got wrecked earlier, almost flipped, but yeah, it was cool. I'm happy for Spring because I like him, and yeah, that was wild. I can't believe I hung in there. I mean, if I would put on some other scuffs at the end instead of staying out, I feel like I definitely would have won that. But yeah, it's a fun race.
Absolutely.
I got a question real quick.
Go ahead for sure, Marcus.
Okay, so Ford, about that mid race, you had problems with what was it? It was Among Us. You had problems with Among Us, and um, just I want you to let us know what was going on in your head during that time.
Well, I was just trying to get past him because he's slow and he kind of sucks. So yeah.
Whew. Alrighty.
So there you go.
Okay.
He didn't need to say any more than that. That's all the message to the driver of the number 7 car, and we will keep our eye on that going into Texas. Speaking of, Ford, you've been dominant
yeah.
a couple of races.
One more thing I want to say. I don't even race this series too often, but this one my third race. But hopefully, after that, I'll get more opportunities to race. It's like that. Yeah, that was super fun.
Absolutely. So, congratulations! A dominating drive today, but it ends P3. But we expect to see you in the future and getting plenty of wins.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ford. And I think we're going to try to squeeze in 2 more interviews here really quick. First, the person making his debut, which was Blazer in the number 18 car. A very up and down day all over the place. But I'd say a pretty strong first race. Showed pretty good pace. Walk me through how you ended up with your first race.
Yeah, like you said, very up and down. First off, I want to apologize to Ford. He's really the main reason I'm in anything in this league, and I kind of sold his win because I was trying to go as long as I could on my set of tires. I ended up blowing a tire, and that's what brought out the initial caution that threw away his lead, so I want to apologize for that. But yeah, on the final restart, I had a chance to pass forward. I was on his outside, my quarter panel, but I decided to back out and try to maybe get to his inside, and then I just took way too much apron, got loose, managed to save it, and then I think I had the best tires, but just didn't have a lot of speed in the car today.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, again, a very strong showing, your first outing, and I would like to ask you about that strategy. You mentioned blowing a tire. Were you trying to just stretch it to make it on one more stop if it was going green there, or what was happening with the strategy there?
Yeah, I tried to go as far as I could so that if we had a late race caution, as we did, I could have a fresh set of tires. But I actually made another strategy error. I could have been on 10% newer tires than Kimmy on that final restart with 30 to go. But I decided to stay out on, I think, 5% older tires and thought that there would be a caution later on where I would be on like 30% fresher tires than everyone else. That obviously did not happen, so I just fell to the back.
Well, either way, I think a very strong showing from you today, and you will get good points. And in a race where a lot of people crashed out or DNF, you finished the race, so congratulations on that, sir. Very strong starting to your season. And that was the driver of the number 18 Blazer. We're going to get one more interview before we send it off here with the driver of the number 66 Karinga. Karinga, again for you, very up and down day. Times where you were fighting for the win. Middle part of the race, a little bit of off strategy. First, tell me about that strategy in the middle of the race. Overcutting Nico, fighting with Kimmy while Ford was pulling away.
Yeah, that mid-race strategy, it was very interesting because I still had 2 sets of tires that were very good. One was on 84, 85, and the other was 100. I was just trying to push it, get to the limit of those, but then, just incidents happened late in the race, and it kind of, upset that strategy because I wasn't probably going to go for the win. I was going to be happy with the second place, but then, just late race came crunch time, and cautions bred cautions, and I ended up almost a lap down due to a late race caution incident with Prime, which was unfortunate, but at least brought it home with a top 5. At least didn't, come out of the race a lap down, finish it a lap down. So I'm just thankful for that, really.
Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to ask you about was that incident with Prime. A bit of craziness there. I think that was after the caution around lap with like 50 to go or so. But incident with Prime, you ended up getting a drive-through. What was your view on that incident?
Yeah, my reaction immediately after was instant apologetic and regret because off turn 2 I had gotten a monster run. I tried to push Kimmy first. He was too slow, so I tried to go for Prime next, get him up to speed, but then we just kind of got misaligned and I hit him at the worst possible angle. Just barely nosed his car enough into the wall to get damage. The lap prior, like right before Bubba gave me the drive through, he had given me a warning for being overly aggressive, which yeah, I am. It just became, late race came late race. I just got too aggressive, tried to push Prime, and misaligned bumpers led to me finishing, almost a lap down, which is just very unfortunate.
Yeah, and then finally I want to ask about, again, you got a warning for that, for what happened right before Prime. You've gotten a little bit of a reputation as being really aggressive, but not afraid to absolutely go for it, especially at the end of these races. Tell me, does that kind of affect how you drive with other drivers, especially going forward to tracks like Texas and Talladega?
I think it will mainly matter at Texas because it's still a very, momentum-based track where you can still pull away. So if it does come down to these late race situations, I will be aggressive. But Talladega, I can just hang back with a tandem partner. But yeah, as you said, I have to be aggressive, and I mean not have to, but at like all of those I actually got to last place because of a bad pit stop. I stopped in the box and the car just didn't pit. So I was just trying to be really aggressive and get back up to the front as soon as possible, which is what led to that 3 wide incident off turn 4, which Spring almost flipped over because of like an accordion effect that happened after that, which is pretty shocking. But yeah, nothing else to say about that. Just too much aggression led to me being almost a lap down.
Absolutely. Well, you still came away with a top 5, and we wish you the best of luck next week going into Texas, as I think you will still leave here the championship leader.
All right, thank you. See you at Texas, man.
See you, man. Alrighty, and that was our last interview with the driver of the number 66, Karinga. Marcus, did you have any final thoughts regarding the crazy finish and tonight's wild race?
It was an amazing race. Again, I'm happy to be here. I was happy to commentate this race. Great finish, great racing, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we were pleased to have you here, and I think you did a great job. So I'd like to extend thank you for commentating with me tonight.
No problem.
Alrighty, so that's going to conclude our coverage for the Bashas Supermarkets 200 here at Phoenix International Raceway. As always, this coverage of Bubbles Cup on Plato's Apex Network is brought to you by BuilderBrain, the cutting-edge AI study tool. Head over to builderbrain.ai to ace your classes and win back your weekend. And make sure to tune in next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here, Plato's Apex Network on Bubble the Wonder Boys YouTube channel for the 7th round of the Bubbles Cup Championship at Texas Motor Speedway. It's going to be an exciting one. We've already seen a crazy finish tonight, some tempers flaring, multiple drivers out. We expect to see more of the same at Texas. So that's going to wrap it up for us here today. And until next time, I bid you all farewell and good night.